This week on Moms Like Us, Nicki Minaj bears her baby bump in an epic photo shoot. In my opinion, rivaled Beyonce's a little bit.
Yes, I thought the same thing.
Yeah, totally. Bachelor Nation's Michelle Money gives an update on how daughter Brielle is doing after her traumatic skateboarding accident.
When you're laying there and your daughter's on her deathbed and you as a mother are like, I should have put the helmet on her head, strapped it in, and said you wear the helmet or you don't go.
Tiffany Thiessen schools us with her tips and tricks to get your kids to eat healthy.
With corn, I really just kind of talked to him. I was like, you love popcorn. It's the same thing. So he finally was like, really? Are you trying to trick me here? You know,
Right.
and he figured out and he tried it. So.
And finally, Brienne's Green Monster smoothie is so good, your kids will even want to try it.
I usually make a huge batch of this because my whole family just loves it. And it's a super hydrating smoothie for the summer months, especially.
We've got that plus so much more on today's Moms Like Us. Hey guys, Christina Garibaldi here with Brienne Mance from Stroller in the City, and welcome to Moms Like Us. Brienne, how are you doing?
I'm great. How are you doing?
So good. I see you got your Green Monster smoothie here, and I'm so excited for everybody to see how you make this because it looks so good.
It's so delicious, and honestly, my entire family loves it. So I make it almost every morning in like a huge batch for them to just drink throughout the day. So, you know, I know that they're getting their greens, and my little daughter, she actually named it the Green Monster Smoothie, which is so funny. But yeah, I mean, it's so great. I mean, you have veggies and fruit, and it's a great way to start your day. So I'm excited to share the recipe with you guys.
I can't wait. I can't wait for everybody to see it. It's fantastic. And we actually have some more tips and tricks on how to get your kids to eat healthy in the kitchen from Tiffany Thiessen. We're going to get to that in just a little bit, but of course we have to check in on the celeb mom and dad's news of the week. And like always, there is a lot. But let's kick it off with some great news because Nicki Minaj announced that she is pregnant with an epic photo shoot. This is totally Insta-worthy. I mean, would we expect anything less from her?
Absolutely not. I think it's stunning. It's so gorgeous. I want to know how they set that up, by the way.
I know. It kind of in my opinion, rivaled Beyonce's a little bit.
Yes, I thought the same thing.
Yeah, totally. It looked absolutely beautiful. She captioned the photo, "Love, marriage, baby carriage, overflowing with excitement and gratitude. Thank you for all the well wishes." Now, she kind of teased that she was pregnant a couple months ago. She was talking about Cravings and said that she would share her baby bump in a couple months, and she delivered. But I mean, talk about a pregnancy announcement.
I mean, just stunning, amazing. But it's so funny you said the Beyonce thing because that's actually the first thing that I thought to myself when I started. And I actually had to Google Beyonce's to take a, side-by-side shot of it.
Yeah.
But it's so great. And I would not expect anything less from her.
Oh, no. I mean, I had a sign that said expecting, this puts everybody's to shame. But it looks so good. So she's so excited. She's talked about for years how much she wanted to start a family, and this is kind of all coming true for her. She really has talked about it for a while, and it was definitely worth the wait.
For sure.
She looks pretty far along too. So
yeah. Did she say when she's due?
She didn't say when she's due, but I would imagine she's probably 6 months. It looks like it she's got a pretty big bump.
Yeah.
So
we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. So excited about it. All right, let's switch gears a little bit because in dad news this week, we have to talk about Kanye West. He is certainly making headlines. Now, he shared a photo of his 4 children following his really, really shocking campaign rally in South Carolina. And he captioned the photo, "West children will never do Playboy." Now, this tweet came after he went on several Twitter sprees. I mean, and he kind of unleashed. He basically said that Kim was allegedly trying to fly to Wyoming to try to get doctors to lock him up. He also wrote that Kris Jenner shouldn't be around his children and would never photograph North doing Playboy, and that's on God. Now, he deleted these tweets, included that saying that he was releasing an album on Friday called Donda. So, I mean, there's so many different layers to this. It's, when I was reading it, you feel really bad because obviously something dark and deep is going on, and he's definitely going through something.
For sure. I mean, there's definitely, yeah, you have to feel bad,
Mhm.
but at the same time, you have to be like, what the heck? Like, what is he even talking about?
Talking about, and like, to bring the children into it, I mean, it has to be alarming for Kim. I can't imagine what she must be going through right now, because literally your husband is airing all of your dirty laundry and private conversations that they have had. I mean, in his campaign rally, he talked a lot about abortion and how that was even a conversation that they had when they first got pregnant with their daughter North. So I mean, these are conversations that you never want to make public.
Never. She's probably mortified. I can't even like imagine. Like every time I hear him in the news, I'm just like, oh my God, what's going on? I mean, he's obviously sick. I mean, they talk about, being bipolar all the time. It's sad. Like he does have to get the help and the treatment that he needs. And I hope Kim, and I'm sure she will, get him this treatment, but to keep spewing these things out into the public, it's kind of scary.
It is really scary. I mean, sources have told us weekly that she has met with divorce lawyers in the past. I mean, who knows if she will move forward with it. I mean, she has, I'm sure, envisioned the rest of her life with this person. They have 4 children together. So, and you have to keep the children in mind, because eventually they're going to see all this. They're going to know what happened. And, I just hope he gets the help that he needs.
Agree.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's move on to a more of a happy story, because this has a happy ending, because Us Weekly sat down exclusively with Michelle Money from Bachelor Nation. Now, you might remember a few months back in March, her daughter Brielle got into a really traumatic skateboarding accident. She was in the ICU on life support, suffering serious brain trauma and a fractured skull, which is so scary after the skateboarding accident. And she gave us a super positive update on how Brielle is doing. So take a look at this.
I think for me, it was like this wake-up call for single parents to be like, listen, I know we only get our kids like 50% of the week, 50% of their life, and we don't want to fight, we don't want to argue, we don't want to be like, you just don't. You get your kids and you just want to love on them, and you want them to have everything in the world. And I think, especially when you're blending families, like with Mike and I moving in together, and you just kind of want everything to be easy. And that day that Brielle got in the accident, I said to her, Brielle, put your helmet on. She said, no, Mom, I'm a professional longboarder. And I'm like, no, you're not. Put the helmet on. And the truth is, I knew she wasn't going to do it. And I still let her go. And because I didn't want to fight.
Mm-hmm.
There's, so when you're laying there and your daughter's on her deathbed, and you as a mother are like, I should have put the helmet on her head, strapped it in, and said, you wear the helmet or you don't go. Yeah. And that was this wake-up call for me, like, whoa, things have got to change. And they have. I mean, Brielle's just like, what happened to my mom? I mean, we had this emotional like conversation one night where she's just like, I just feel like things are different. And I'm like, Brie, they have to be. Like, I love you so much, and I have not shown up for you the way that I need to as your mother. And so we have to make some changes. Like, I have to show up differently in your life because you are my responsibility, and I don't ever want to be put in this situation again. So yeah, things have drastically changed, and we have pulled back on her screen time. We've pulled back on her curfew. We've pulled back. I mean, all the things I wanted to do, but never wanted to fight with her about. Mm-hmm. It was like, we're reining this in, and her dad and I are both really on the same page with all of it. It was kind of like we were able to push reset a little bit. And fortunately, we were lucky enough to where Brielle walked out of the hospital alive, and we got the chance to kind of reparent her, where a lot of people don't get that opportunity and live with regret their whole life. And I'm like, I will not live in regret. I won't. And so things have been a little bit more strict around here. Yeah, it changes you. Going through something like that changes you. And I would say that is the biggest change for me. Brain injuries take at least a year to fully recover from. And so it's only been a few months. So she's still struggling with short-term memory. One of the funny side effects is like she seems to have lost her filter. She's just like saying these things, and you're just like, Brielle, filters are really important in life, and we need to learn how to use those. So she's kind of just been like extra funny and extra like inappropriate. But outside of that, you know, as we're about to go back into the school year, it'll be a whole another set of challenges for us because we're not entirely sure how she's going to do with multiple classes and multiple, like, you know, studying, and just her brain isn't quite ready for all that. So it's going to be a little bit of a challenge this fall. But she's walking, she's talking great. There's no physical, other than her head that was shaved, her hair was buzzed. So she's got, you know, a fun little hairdo going on. But no, we really are so blessed to have had such a great outcome. I will never get over the love and the support that I received from so many strangers all over the world. And the people that prayed for Brielle and prayed for us, like, it will never, ever, ever be forgotten. And I really do believe it is what helped her pull through all of this. So I'm eternally grateful.
So I love how this accident actually makes her look at parenting a little bit differently. Because I mean, obviously traumatic experiences are going to shift your thought process on things.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I can't even imagine. That is like so scary. I mean, my son skateboards, and my biggest thing is like, oh, he's going to break a leg or an arm. Never, like, God forbid, be on life support after an accident like this. So I can't even imagine. But yeah, I mean, there's so many things that happen, you know, during the course of motherhood where you have to take a step back and like relook and, you know, say like, was I parenting right during that time? Right.
No, and I mean, she even said that like now she's going to be a stricter parent because, you know, she regrets not having her daughter leave without a helmet on. And, you know, if I put a helmet on, maybe things would have been a little bit different, or always wear your helmet. You know, it's those little decisions that make such a big difference.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I mean, you would never think, oh, my daughter, she's been skateboarding or doing whatever. She does it all the time. Why would today be any different? But you never know when like these accidents are going to happen. I mean, have you ever had a scare like that as a parent?
Oh, yes. Oh my gosh. Yes. One time, well, all three of my kids have wound up getting stitches, two multiple times, but my middle one, we were at the beach, we were on the North Fork, and, you know, we were like having drinks and stuff like that. I mean, parents were not drunk at all. It was in the middle of the day. And I don't even know how old she was back then. Maybe she was like 3. And she's like, I'm going to run inside and get a snack. And I'm like, okay. And I was like following along behind her. Right. And she slammed into the countertop and like was literally on the floor. And it was like right here. I thought her eye was knocked out. I don't even know what was happening, but she wound up needing stitches. And it was like this big thing, you know, I was like yelling for people. No one was like listening to me because everyone was like down by the beach. And I was like in this house, and it was like the most scariest, you know, point. I mean, I was following her. I wasn't holding her hand, walking her in. So of course I had like crazy mom guilt over it.
Yeah.
You know, and thank God she's fine. And she wound up getting the stitches, and it was awful, but yeah, it's scary.
It's so scary. I mean, we haven't been venturing out too much lately, and she's so, the baby, she's only 14 months old, but I mean, the scariest part for me so far, I mean, I have a ways to go, but you know, I was in the kitchen, like, our downstairs is like pretty open, but we have gates on all the stairs and everything, and I had closed it, so I thought, but the gate, she managed to open the gate a little bit, and I was in the kitchen like fixing a bottle or something, and I turned around and I'm like, oh my God, where is she? And she's like halfway up the stairs. I am like, luckily, thank God nothing happened, but like your heart sinks, and I'm like, oh my God, she could have fallen down the stairs, you know, like you never know what's gonna happen. Oh my God, I was freaking out. So I didn't even tell my husband that because he would not be happy with me.
No, and then you question everything. Too. Like you're like, okay, well, you know, did I not lock it right? Like, was I distracted by my phone or something?
Exactly.
Everything. Oh, the mom guilt is so real.
Mom guilt. So it was also so bad. I think she was, oh God, she had to be like 3 months old, and I was feeding her, and I was on my phone, and I dropped my phone like on her head. I'm like, oh my God, I'm the worst mom ever. So bad. Luckily, she's fine.
Great.
Right. All right, let's move on to our clapback of the week. And this week it goes to Hannah Ferrier from Below Deck. She is pregnant, and she posted a photo of her drinking out of a wine glass. She was cooking in a sports bra and shorts. And of course, Instagram trolls came right out and said, in the USA, we don't drink when pregnant. Well, she is from Australia, and she replied, that's good for you, and definitely not unsafe to have sparkling water with fruit in a wine glass. So, I mean, this kind of, I mean, I can see why the trolls came out.
Absolutely.
I can see it because she is holding a wine glass. So, I mean, in a way, she may have been knowing that she was going to provoke some people.
Right. Like she kind of wanted to like stir the trouble.
Right.
Even if you zoom in on that,
Yeah.
you can tell it's
Right.
sparkling water with some fruit in it. I mean, you can
Totally.
totally tell. So,
Yeah.
I mean, did she want to stir up a little controversy? Maybe because that
Right.
is Hannah's way. I don't know. But, you know,
Would you have posted something like that?
pregnant? No,
No. Yeah.
probably not. Not unless I wanted to like, you know, stir the pot, you know?
Exactly. But some people do drink when pregnant. No judgment. We're not doctors. I'm not going to tell you what you can not do. Obviously not excessively. But some, like when you're a little bit later on in pregnancy, they say that you can have a couple sips.
Mhm.
But I mean, I probably wouldn't post it on Instagram as well.
No, I don't even think I like would order a glass of wine at a restaurant if I was sitting there with like a big bump. I don't think I would do that. Like, did I have a couple of sips in like the, you know, the same way that it's okay, probably in like later pregnancy, probably not with my first, but I probably do with my third at that point, but I would never do it like publicly so people can kind of like shame you or,
Yeah.
you know.
No, it's so true, but each their own, I guess.
Yeah.
All right, so when it comes to keeping it real, let's talk about Stassi Schroeder. She always has kept it real, and she's doing the same thing during her pregnancy. And this week, she revealed what she has been craving. She showed off a photo of her baby bump, and she said, "My baby enjoys Cinnamon Toast Crunch, watching Outlander, and sucking every last bit of energy I have." Now, Us Weekly broke the news back in June that she was expecting with her fiance, Bo Clark, and they have a little one on the way, a little girl. And so she is so excited to expect her in January. Now, this, of course, comes after she was fired from Vanderpump Rules. So it's nice that she has something to look forward to, which is good.
Exactly.
So what were your cravings during pregnancy?
Oh gosh. Definitely for my son, and we joke about this all the time. I ate so much watermelon. I don't know why. I just wanted watermelon. And now he doesn't like watermelon at all. And he tells people it's because my mom ate too much of it when she was pregnant.
That's so funny. I love that.
How about you? Did you crave anything?
I craved like really early on in the beginning. I like wanted popcorn all the time. I still love popcorn, but I wanted popcorn all the time, and mango. I loved mango. And I don't know what we have given her mango a couple times, and she seems to like it, but not too much. But yeah, mango and popcorn were it for me.
That's so funny. And then was there anything that you like disliked?
Not too much. I mean, it was funny. Like I used to. It's actually now that I'm not pregnant, things that I was eating during my pregnancy, I don't even want to touch anymore, which is really weird. Like I used to like love apples. And now, like, I can't really eat them, which is weird. I don't know. Maybe because I ate too much of them during my pregnancy. I don't know. It's very strange. How about you?
It is. Meats were for me, like, I couldn't eat any kind of meat, like chicken or like anything. But I was like trying to because I wanted, like, obviously the protein. But I was totally turned off.
Yeah.
Like, especially with chicken, which was weird because chicken is what I prefer.
Right.
And I was totally turned off by it.
Yeah, it's so funny. A couple of my friends were really turned off by chicken too, which is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, I'm sure Stassi is enjoying her Cinnamon Toast Crunch, and you know, it seems like she's trying to return to a little bit of normalcy after everything that kind of happened with Vanderpump.
For sure, and I think she should. I think she's going to enjoy like living like a normal lifestyle, kind of like under the radar a little bit. And I think it's good for her and like the baby and her relationship. I think it'll be good for her.
Yeah, I think so. I think so too, definitely. Somebody that makes parenting look easy is Tiffany Thiessen. She is our mom of the week, and we caught up with her about cooking in quarantine. As we know, she absolutely loves to cook, and she does a great job of it. She's got a couple of cookbooks, and she told us how she got her kids to eat healthy and to help her out in the kitchen during quarantine. Take a look. Do you have any tips and tricks for making kids that are picky eaters to eat healthy?
I can tell you what I did. You know what I mean? I definitely, and not everybody can do this, but I will say being able to grow certain things and showing kids how things start from a seed and really kind of take care of it and see the process of how food is, you know, made. That's been a really big, huge impact, you know, very impactful for my kids, for sure. Mm-hmm. But they go through their stages. Like my daughter's really great with some things, but still kind of like is interesting about wanting to try something new. And then is adamant about, no, he's not going to like it. And I'm trying to convince him just to try. So I finally got him to try corn yesterday for the first time. I've been trying forever. I lead by example. That's another one. Don't stop trying, keep trying. And they'll finally get there. It's kind of like the whole potty training or sleeping in your bed and they're not in their own room. Like, they're not going to be there forever. They are not going to live in diapers forever. They're not always going to be picky eaters. They really won't.
How did you get them to eat the corn? Did you have to hide it in something? Did you have to trick them?
I used to do that when they were younger, and I still do that generally with the greens, a lot of the greens and smoothies in the morning. But with corn, I really just kind of talked to him. I was like, you love popcorn. It's the same thing. So he finally was like, really? Are you trying to trick me here? And then he tried it. So
yeah, totally. I mean, what healthy snacks did trick your kids into eating healthy? Like when they were a little bit younger, did you have to hide it into certain things or, when
they were really little, it was all about like the soft food. So they were eating like, a lot of the stuff that I would put in, that kind of thing. But I make risotto usually once a week. The kids love it. And I usually add some sort of vegetable to it. So I'll usually roast it and then I'll blend it down. And so it's actually really creamy. So some of the ones they like are, sweet potatoes or any sort of squash, that kind of thing. Peas are easy now that they're a little older, but it's getting better. My kids are older, so I have to, I can relate I can actually talk them through it a little bit better.
How has it been for you? Are you able to get your kids to eat healthy?
I do. I try. That's been always like a huge priority for me. So I always like fed them a ton of greens, hence my smoothie.
Yeah.
But yeah, eating healthy for them is like, they're always trying new things. And that was like something that my husband and I really made like a point, like just try it. If you don't like it, you can spit it out. And they love everything. And like, to the point where like, they like expensive food now.
High taste.
And I'm kind of like, we kind of created monsters because they like crave sushi and like lobster rolls. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, this is getting kind of expensive.
That is hysterical. I know a friend of mine, her daughter will only eat anything that's brown. So like brown bread, pasta, rice. Like, so she's like, I try so hard and I just can't do it. And like every day she has like a peanut butter sandwich.
So funny.
So funny. I know. It's even funny now that my daughter, she's almost 15 months, but I can start seeing that she's getting a little picky. Like if she doesn't like something, throwing it on the floor or like just starts crying. Like last night she had a full on meltdown at dinner and I'm just like, I don't know what you want.
Oh God. And they'll change so many times too, and they'll go like, they love something so much. And then all of a sudden they're like, no, I'm not going to eat it anymore.
Right.
Yeah. Constantly go in waves.
Yeah.
And it still changes even now as they're like older, but
yeah, I know. Now she knows what no means. So all the time it's just no. I'm like, oh no, I've created a monster. She's only 15 months. All right. Well, speaking of kids in the kitchen, for today's Mom Gear, we're talking, of course, all things food. For me, like I said, my baby is almost 15 months and the messy eating struggle is very, very real. So I actually just bought these stay put plates from a Munchkin. So they're just basically like suction plates that suction onto the high chair tray. And she can't, because we have some photos of what she used to look like during dinner when she just takes the plate and just pours it on her head and like wears it like a hat. She does it with pasta all the time. It's great. But these are good because she can't really lift it up. So we've taken that away from her.
That is a must in the kitchen. Oh my God, that's hilarious.
It really is. And another one of mine is this splat mat. It's like under $20. You can pick it up on Amazon or whatever, and it just goes under the high chair because, like I said, if she doesn't like something, she's throwing it on the floor. So it's very easy cleanup. Kind of just pick it up and throw all the excess in the garbage. So that's what kind of makes things a little bit easier in the kitchen for me. How about you?
That is key. We actually had one of those flat mats.
Yeah.
I love them so much.
I do too.
So now as the kids are like in the kitchen kind of making their own things, I found with the Curious Chef, they have like a set of knives and they actually really do cut, because a lot of like the kid knives don't really cut that much. And that's my biggest fear of them in the kitchen. Like I want them to be independent, but God forbid they cut themselves. So the Curious Chef knives are definitely key for your little sous chefs.
I love that. That's so great. Yeah, I know. Because, you got to start them early with the forks and the knives and the spoons, but you don't want them to cut anything. So I think those are a great thing. I know that we've been talking about it all show, and you put together this amazing demo of how to make that green monster smoothie. I'm so excited for everybody to see it, and we're going to close out the show with it. So Brielle, thank you so much for talking all things mom with me. It's so exciting, so much fun as always. Make sure to check in every Thursday at 3 p.m. for moms like us. Keep on commenting, keep on subscribing to our YouTube channel, and we leave you now with Brielle's Green Monster Smoothie. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye, thanks guys.
Good morning, you guys. Brielle here with Stroller in the City, and today I am making what my kids call a green monster smoothie. So this recipe was adapted from Nicole at Bumbery. I absolutely love her and all of her recipes, and this is a huge hit with my family members. So I'll tell you first what's in it. So spinach is pretty much your main ingredient, and then celery, romaine lettuce. I have some mint here, which is actually fresh from my mom's garden. 1 apple, some lemon juice from an entire lemon, and then I have here frozen mango and pineapple. Oh, and one more thing, super ripened bananas. I usually wait till they're this color and then peel them and freeze them, so I always have them on hand. And I actually really like it when it's frozen. I feel like it makes the smoothie extra creamy. So I'll start here, and my blender today is a little bit on the smaller side. So just portion. I usually make a huge batch of this because my whole family just loves it, and it's a super hydrating smoothie for the summer months especially. So I'm just gonna go a little bit of a lower portion today just because my container is on the smaller side. Another ingredient I use for liquid is usually raw coconut water, but I couldn't find any today, so we're just gonna use regular water, but you can use your child's favorite milk. So coconut milk, almond milk, all of that works. And I've tried them all, and they all taste delicious. So we're just gonna put some water in for the base. Okay, next we're gonna use some celery. Some apples. Up, dash of some mint, the lemon, instead of spinach too, if you're not a fan, you can also substitute that with kale. So sometimes if I don't have spinach in the house, I'll just use kale, and the kids don't really seem to notice the difference. Some romaine, and the romaine is super hydrating as well. Okay, so I think I am ready to mix everything up. Okay. Guys, this is my green monster smoothie. Enjoy!